Tessa and Scott skated their way into the hearts of Canadians and people around the world with their stellar performance at the 2018 Winter Games. The ice dancing pair started off their Pyeongchang Olympic journey carrying the Canadian flag at the opening ceremony and ended the Games with 2 gold medals wrapped around their necks. Scott and Tessa are back home, and they join me now from our downtown studio. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So, what have you been doing since you got back home?
What haven't we been doing? Actually, it's been pretty quiet. We went home with our families, and we're able to kind of just relax a little bit and take some downtime. We had such a fantastic month over in South Korea, and maybe needed a bit of rest when we got home.
Yeah. Tessa, are you still on the high, or is it hard to settle back into real life?
It does still feel exhilarating, and we're still relishing in those moments that we had on the ice and reliving those. It's been fun coming home and reuniting with family and friends, but the change of pace has been alarming. I think it will take some time to really process everything that happened in Korea.
Have you skated since?
I haven't.
Yeah, I was on the ice once, and I was thinking to myself, wow, you really lose it quick. So we'll have to get back into it a little bit because we're lucky enough we get to do Stars on Ice tour across the country and a little bit in Japan. So gonna have to get our touch back.
Yeah, when does that start?
We'll head to Montreal, our training base, next week and choreograph programs and get back on the ice, get into the rhythm of things. And we head to Japan at the end of the month for a couple of weeks to kick it off, and then in Halifax in April. So we go from Halifax to Vancouver, and we're so excited to share in our excitement with the rest of Canadians who have been so wonderfully supportive.
Oh, let's talk about that skate seen and felt really around the world. Did you feel at the time that you nailed it?
Yep.
It felt, I mean, in that moment, I'm sure we'll look back and find 1,000 things that we could have improved on. But in that moment, under those circumstances, I'm not sure we could have done any better, which is, as an athlete, all you can ask for.
And we so enjoyed watching it. Did you enjoy performing it?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we had a blast out on the ice, but people always think we don't get nervous because we've been doing it for a little while, and we still were. We were terrified, probably more than we ever have been, but we really relied on our training. And actually, when the music started, I can say that we did enjoy it, and that's pretty special to us because we wanted to make sure that we went out and attacked our performances, and felt like we did that.
And Tessa, when you think back to how you got there, how would you break that down? Was it mostly the training? Was it the support from family? Was it the coaching? What brought you to that moment?
I mean, it's truly all-encompassing. I think, as Scott mentioned, we really had to rely on our training and our B210 team in Montreal, who provided all of our off-ice needs, our coaching staff, Marie-France and Patrice. I mean, of course, family, friends, it's 2 decades worth of work that led to that one moment. But we were so grateful to have had the team around us. And in that comeback, the 2 years leading into the Olympics, we dedicated ourselves to making sure that we didn't leave any stone unturned, and we relied on our team of experts around us to ensure that we were getting the proper rest, we were maximizing training, and every detail was accounted for.
And Scott, there's that chemistry. How do you find new ways of telling people that you're not a couple?
Well, it's it's challenging, but we take it as a compliment, honestly. We tell that story on the ice, and we're actors in a way. So it just means that we're able to do our job well, and it is a compliment. Obviously, there's a lot more to our partnership than just talking about romance. So for us, we like to talk about our teamwork, and that's been a really special journey for Tessa and I. 20 years together. And there's so much that goes into this relationship. So we try and just kind of steer it back to that and then keep our personal lives kind of out of it.
Yeah, Tessa, do you sort of feel like you're letting people down? I learned that there's a word for people that want people to be in a relationship. They're called shippers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, look it up. You pretty much define it because you know that everybody has this fantasy of what you two are really like off the ice. Do you feel like you're letting people down?
Yes and no, but I think what people are connecting with and maybe invested in is this genuine care and respect that we have for one another. And you know, romantic or not, we feel that. I mean, we've really nurtured our partnership. We've worked with so many sports psychologists and marriage counselors and therapists and mental prep coaches. I mean, to make sure that we do communicate well and we work together efficiently and effectively. And as Scott mentioned, the teamwork, that's the most important part of what we do. And we're so grateful for this. We don't take it for granted.
Yeah, what an incredible gift you are to each other. So the tour starts, and then is there another Olympics maybe?
That's a good question. Well, there will be another Olympics.
Will
Just whether or
you be
not
there?
we're going to be at them is another question. But it's tough. I mean, it probably feels like it's probably it's time for T and I to you know, maybe move on to other things. But it's going to be tough. I think we'll always want to be at the Olympic Games. And look at the experiences we've had. We've had a home games. One in Russia, and then this one in South Korea, all very different, all great experiences, all life-changing. So of course we want to be in Beijing, but it's so much work that goes into it, and at the same time we know that there are young kids coming up that are just going to kick our butts, so we kind of have to move on.
Well, you have made Canada so proud, and I'm really glad that you were able to join us this morning. We wish you all the best, and we'll be watching you back on the ice. Scott Moore, Tessa Virtue, take care.
Thank you
Thanks so much.